Now you can see here I've taken us into the character builder. The class I've chosen for this demonstration is Ranger. And so you can see here the hit points, that tells you what the hit die you get. Hit points at first level, 10 plus your constitution modifier, hit point, yada yada yada. These are all pretty important, telling you like what you're proficient in, taking proficiency in certain skills. You get options, some class features, which are these things. Each of these is class features. They might give you a choice, or they might not. Whatever. You choose something out of there. Fighting style. Most martial characters get a fighting style. Rogues don't. Spellcasting. So the ranger is what's known as a half caster, and we essentially separate the classes into two sides: casters and martials. Half casters tend to lean a bit more on the martial side, but your casters would be like, your wizards, your druids, your warlocks, so on. A martial would be like a fighter, a barbarian, and whatever. And now, on third level, second or first, depending on whatever class you're playing, you would gain access to your subclass. And your subclass is pretty important. There's a bit of a list here. I would suggest, you know what your subclass does. They all have like different abilities at different levels. So you can see this third level feature I get from being a hunter ranger. I get to choose one of these, and then I get the effect out of it. So an extra 1d8 of damage when it's below its hit point maximum is pretty decent. But if I were a monster slayer, I get both of these. Oh, and this one. These aren't very good, by the way, I don't think. Don't worry about it. Even though there's three of them, it's kind of balanced. Gloomstalker gets something else. And you can see here, you get it at third level, and you also get another thing for your subclass at 7th, 11th, and 15th. This is different for each class, so I suggest you look and see what you're looking forward to, and so on. I'll just put Giant Killer in. From here, you might want to see what's available at higher levels, and this is just kind of give you a preview of what's coming up. Extra attack is pretty good. You get to attack twice in a turn instead of once. I'll move over to the spells. It gives you like a spell list of things you can add. You can read them. I'm sure you can understand this stuff. It's just a big list. And then these get added to your spells. The optional feature manager. I'm not sure if we're doing this. But basically these give you different options for the class features. So it will replace, more often than not, it will replace one of the features with something else. The Ranger has the most of these, as far as I'm aware, because they were not very good on release. This next thing, if I were to go to 4th level, you'll see I get this ability score improvement. These things, everyone gets an ability score improvement at 4, 8, 12, 16, and 19. The levels in that class. And here you get to decide whether you want to get an ability score improvement or a feat. The ability score improvement would be you choose you choose a stat, you gain plus 1 for the stat, not the modifier. And you can choose that same one again, and it'll give you another one. So that's plus 2, meaning the modifier does get boosted. So now I have a plus 4 dexterity because of that choice. Or I could put 1 in like wisdom or something, and so on. If I had 2 like uneven ones, I might want to even them up. Get like 2 plus 1s for the price of 1. This is very customizable. Choose wherever you'd like to put them. On the other hand, a bit more on the complex side are feats. Feats have a massive list of things you can choose. These are essentially extra abilities that your character can have. There are a few more simple ones, like Tough, that essentially doubles your health. Oh, not really. It doesn't double your health. That was wrong. It's whenever you gain a level, your hit point increases by an additional 2 HP. So it's almost doubling your constitution bonus that you get from health. There are other things, there's a lot of things here. Alert's pretty decent and simple. If you want advice on what to take, I think you should ask me. I would try to keep it simple for you. Feats are generally kind of powerful, but if you don't use them correctly, then they can be a bit of a waste. But for now, I'm going to keep it in Dex. Finally, I will show you what multi-classing looks like. I think this is a bit advanced for where you guys are at the moment, so I wouldn't recommend it until maybe like another campaign, but because like this one's going to be a bit shorter, and multi-classing requires a bit of planning, usually, if you want it to be a bit more effective. If you wanted to multi-class, you would click the Add Another Class button, and you'll see here, it doesn't actually want me to multi-class, and I'll tell you why. It's because there are multi-class requirements you have to meet, usually under the rules that we work under. There's a cost for multi-classing out of a class. So if I was a ranger, I would need a 13 in Dex and a 13 in Wisdom to multi-class out of the class. So I'm going to choose a Wisdom score here, and it's going to let me actually leave the class. And you'll see here, there are a few options, not all of them, because there are also requirements to multi-class into a class. So if I wanted to be a wizard, I would need a better intelligence. If I wanted to be a warlock, I needed better charisma, but I do get some options here. So, say I wanted to become a rogue, which would require Dex. I will add this class, and so this would only happen on my level up. So say I'm level 4, I level up to level 5, I don't want to take a 5th level in Ranger, I want to take a 1st level in Rogue. And what this would do is give me access to the 1st level features of Rogue. So I get to choose a Rogue skill, I get to choose Rogue Expertise. Expertise is doubling your proficiency in a certain skill. And then I get things like Sneak Attack, and so on. And from here, I can decide on my next level up whether I want to put that level into my Rogue, or I want to put that level into my Ranger. And then again, you could always add another class. I don't know really why you'd want that. Sometimes it would work, but for the lower level, you might want to stick to staying a bit closer into 1, because level 5 is pretty important. It essentially doubles your offensive power. But that is essentially what this whole sheet is about. You'll see each of these kind of features, they will go onto your character sheet. You can check them out in features and traits. You can see I got a fighting style, spellcasting, hunter, ranger, hunter's prey, different things. I got my rogue features, and so on. And you can see here, this area is just about like character description. It's got your background there, things I haven't filled in, notes you might want to take, extras, whatever. But that kind of sums up the section on character building.